Most people think fasting is simple. You stop eating, you feel hungry, you wait, then you eat again. But deep inside your body, something far more intense begins to happen. Tiny switches flip. Old systems shut down. New systems turn on. And the strange part is this. When fasting truly starts working, your body sends signals that feel unusual, unexpected, and sometimes confusing. Many people miss them. Others feel them but don't understand what they mean. Some even think these signs are problems, when in reality, they are proof that the process has started. In this video, you're going to learn the real signals that show fasting has moved beyond the surface level and has begun changing how your body works from the inside out. These are not the usual benefits everyone talks about. Not weight loss, not calories, not willpower. These are the weird signs that appear quietly, often without warning, and they tell a powerful story about fat burning, hormone shifts, brain fuel, and cellular repair. Some of these signs can feel uncomfortable at first. Some can feel surprisingly good, and a few can feel so strange that people quit fasting right when it starts to work. That is why this video matters, because knowing what is normal can keep you from giving up too early. Because understanding what your body is doing can turn confusion into confidence, and because a single overlooked sign might explain why fasting suddenly feels different than before. You will learn why your hunger changes shape instead of disappearing, why your breath or body may smell different, why your focus can sharpen while your appetite fades, and why your energy may feel calmer instead of stronger. You will also learn why these signs do not appear on day one, why they show up at different times for different people, and what they quietly reveal about metabolism switching modes. This video is not about pushing longer fasts or extremes. It is about awareness. It is about reading the signals your body sends when it moves from sugar burning to fat burning, when insulin drops, and when stored energy finally gets unlocked. Some of the signs you will hear about are rarely explained clearly. Others are talked about, but without context, leaving people worried instead of informed. By the end of this video, you will be able to tell the difference between normal adaptation and real warning signs. You will understand why certain sensations appear right when fasting becomes effective, not before. And you will know why patience during this phase can make all the difference. This is the stage where many people unknowingly quit, thinking fasting failed them, when in reality their body had just begun to respond. Stay with this video until the end, because the final signs often appear last, and they are the strongest indicators that fasting is doing what it is supposed to do at a deep biological level. Missing them means missing the full picture. Understanding them puts you ahead of most people trying fasting today. Welcome to our channel, where we break down health topics in a clear, simple, and honest way. If you want to understand your body better and make smarter choices without confusion or hype, subscribe now and stay connected for more videos like this. When fasting begins, the first thing that changes is not your weight or your appearance. The first change happens quietly inside your body. At the start, your body runs mostly on glucose. Glucose comes from the food you eat, especially sugar and carbohydrates. Every time you eat, glucose enters your blood, and insulin rises to move that glucose into your cells for energy. When you stop eating for a long enough period, that constant supply of glucose slowly runs out. Insulin levels drop. At first, your body uses stored glucose from the liver, called glycogen. But those stores are limited. Once they begin to empty, your body faces a choice. It can either struggle or it can adapt. When fasting truly starts working, adaptation begins. Your body shifts from relying on quick sugar energy to using stored fat as fuel. Fat is broken down into fatty acids and ketones. Ketones become an alternative energy source, especially for the brain. This shift does not happen instantly. It takes time, and when it happens, the body behaves differently. Hormones change, energy signals change, hunger signals change. The body enters a new mode that feels unfamiliar at first. This is the moment when fasting kicks in, and this is when strange signs begin to appear, not because something is wrong, but because something is changing at a deep level. One of the earliest and most noticeable signs is a change in breath. As fat burning increases, the liver produces ketones. Some of these ketones leave the body through the breath. This can create a dry, metallic, or slightly sweet smell that was not there before. It may feel uncomfortable or embarrassing, but it is one of the clearest signs that your metabolism has shifted. This smell means your body is no longer depending mainly on sugar. It is burning fat for fuel. Many people brush this off as dehydration or poor hygiene, but it often appears even when water intake is normal. This change in breath is not random, it is chemistry. It is the byproduct of fat being turned into usable energy. For many people, this is the first physical signal that fasting is doing more than just reducing calories. It is changing how energy is made inside the body. As ketones increase, the brain begins to respond. The brain can run on glucose, but it can also run on ketones. And for some people, ketones provide a steadier fuel source. This is why another strange sign often appears around the same time. Mental clarity improves. Thoughts feel sharper. Focus lasts longer. Distractions feel weaker. This does not feel like stimulation or excitement. It feels calm and clear. Many people describe it as mental quiet or steady attention. Tasks that once felt heavy feel easier to start. This happens because ketones produce less fluctuation in energy compared to sugar. When glucose rises and falls, focus often rises and falls with it. Ketones burn more evenly. This can create a sense of smooth thinking that surprises people, especially those who expected fasting to make them foggy or tired. This clarity does not mean unlimited energy. It means cleaner energy. For some, it lasts hours. For others, it comes and goes. But when it appears, it often signals that the brain has begun using fat-based fuel effectively. At the same time, hunger begins to change its character. Early in fasting, hunger feels loud, sharp, and urgent. It demands attention. It feels physical and emotional. But once the body adapts to using stored energy, hunger often becomes quieter. It does not disappear completely, but it changes shape. It becomes more like a soft reminder than an emergency signal. This happens because insulin is lower and blood sugar is more stable. The body no longer feels the same pressure to eat immediately. Stored fat is now available as fuel, and the brain senses that energy is present. This shift in hunger is subtle but powerful. Many people expect hunger to vanish when fasting works, but that is not always the case. Instead, hunger becomes calmer and more manageable. This change shows that your body is no longer panicking for fuel. It has learned to access what it already has. As this adaptation continues, inflammation inside the body can begin to decrease. Inflammation is often driven by constant eating, high insulin, and repeated blood sugar spikes. When fasting lowers insulin and gives the digestive system a break, inflammatory signals may reduce. Some people notice this as less joint stiffness, less swelling, or less general discomfort. Pain that once felt constant may feel quieter. This does not happen for everyone at the same time, and it is not dramatic overnight. It happens slowly. But when it does, it often surprises people because they were not fasting for pain relief. Reduced inflammation can also be linked to cellular cleanup processes that become more active during fasting. Old or damaged components inside cells are broken down and recycled. This internal maintenance can support better function in tissues throughout the body. When pain eases without a clear reason, it can be another sign that fasting has moved beyond the surface level. Skin changes can also appear during this phase. Skin is closely connected to hormones, inflammation, and cellular turnover. When fasting reduces insulin and supports cleanup inside cells, the skin may respond. Some people notice fewer breakouts, others notice a brighter tone or smoother texture. This does not mean fasting is a beauty treatment. It means the internal environment has shifted. When inflammation drops and repair processes improve, the skin can reflect that change. These improvements are often gradual and subtle, but they are noticed because they feel unexpected. Skin responding is another quiet signal that internal systems are adjusting. Energy patterns also begin to change in a noticeable way. Instead of feeling bursts of energy followed by crashes, energy becomes flatter and more even. This can feel strange at first because many people are used to highs and lows. Stable energy does not feel exciting. It feels steady. You may not feel wired or restless, but you also may not feel drained. This smooth energy comes from fat-based fuel being released at a slower, more controlled pace. Blood sugar stays more stable. Hormones become more predictable. This can create a calm physical state that feels unfamiliar but functional. Many people misinterpret this calm as low energy when it is actually balanced energy. Once recognized, it becomes one of the most valued effects of fasting. Another unusual combination that appears is lower hunger paired with higher drive. While appetite decreases, motivation may rise. People report feeling more willing to move, work, or focus. Emotionally, they may feel more balanced. This seems counterintuitive because less food is often associated with weakness or irritability. But when fasting works, stress hormones can stabilize and mental clarity can increase. This creates a sense of readiness without urgency. The body feels light. The mind feels engaged. This pairing can feel odd at first, but it often reflects improved energy signaling rather than simple calorie restriction. Some changes happen entirely beneath the surface. Blood sugar levels may improve. Insulin sensitivity may increase. Cholesterol patterns may shift. These changes do not produce immediate sensations, but they matter deeply. Over time, they reflect improved metabolic health. When insulin works better, the body manages energy more efficiently. When glucose stays stable, organs experience less stress. These internal markers are proof that fasting is affecting the body at a fundamental level. They confirm what many of the strange sensations suggest. The system has adapted. Along the way, some uncomfortable sensations may appear, especially during the transition phase. Mild headaches can occur as the brain adjusts to a new fuel source. Dizziness may appear if electrolytes are low or hydration is insufficient. Sleep patterns may change as hormones shift and energy timing adjusts. These sensations can feel alarming if unexpected, but they often pass as the body adapts. They are not signs of failure. They are signs of transition. The body is learning a new rhythm. Once adaptation completes, these effects usually fade, leaving behind the steadier signals of a system running differently than before. As the body adapts to fasting, it is important to understand that not every signal should be ignored or pushed through. While many strange sensations are part of normal adjustment, there are clear moments when fasting should pause. The body is intelligent, but it also has limits. Extreme dizziness is one of the clearest signals that something is not right. Lightheadedness that comes and goes can happen early on, especially during the shift away from sugar. But when dizziness becomes intense, persistent, or makes it hard to stand or walk, it is no longer a normal adjustment sign. It may mean blood pressure has dropped too low, hydration is insufficient, or electrolytes are out of balance. At that point, continuing the fast does not build strength. it increases risk. The body is asking for support, not endurance. Fainting is another signal that should never be ignored. Losing consciousness, even briefly, is not a normal part of fasting adaptation. It suggests that the brain is not receiving enough blood flow or energy to stay alert. This can happen if fasting is pushed too far, too fast, or without proper preparation. Fainting is not a sign of progress. It is a warning. Breaking the fast in this situation is not failure. It is a responsible response to a clear signal that the system needs stability. Heart palpitations also deserve attention. A mild awareness of heartbeat can sometimes happen during fasting as adrenaline and stress hormones shift. But strong, irregular, or rapid heartbeats that feel uncomfortable or alarming are not something to push through. These sensations can indicate electrolyte imbalances or stress on the cardiovascular system. The heart relies on minerals and steady signals to function properly. When those signals are disrupted, the body speaks loudly. Ignoring this message can lead to more serious problems. In such cases, stopping the fast and seeking medical guidance is the safest step. Understanding when to stop is just as important as understanding when fasting is working. True progress does not come from ignoring danger signs. It comes from listening carefully and responding wisely. Fasting is a tool, not a test of toughness. When used correctly, it supports health. When pushed without awareness, it can cause harm. Knowing this balance allows fasting to remain a positive experience rather than a stressful one. When looking back at the signs discussed earlier, a clear pattern emerges. When fasting starts working, the body does not scream, it whispers. Breath changes as fat burning increases. The mind feels clearer as the brain adapts to a new fuel. Hunger becomes quieter and more controlled as stored energy becomes available. Inflammation eases as the body reduces constant metabolic stress. Skin reflects internal cleanup. Energy smooths out instead of spiking and crashing. Motivation rises even as appetite falls. And beneath the surface, blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity improve. These signs do not appear all at once. They arrive gradually, often in unexpected ways. They are not dramatic. They are subtle. And that is why many people miss them. The most important idea to remember is that fasting is not just about eating less. It is about changing how the body uses energy. When these signs appear, they show that the body has moved into a more efficient state. It is no longer relying only on incoming food. It is using stored resources. It is repairing and rebalancing systems that were under constant pressure before. This adaptation does not mean perfection. It does not mean every day feels easy. It means the body is learning flexibility. It means systems that were rigid are becoming responsive again. Seeing these signs is not a reason to push harder without thought. It is a reason to respect the process. Progress in fasting is not measured by suffering. It is measured by signals of balance. When the body adapts, it often feels calmer, steadier, and more controlled. Recognizing these changes helps people continue with confidence instead of fear. It prevents quitting too early and prevents pushing too far. It turns fasting from a confusing experience into an informed one. When these signs appear, they are not random events. They are messages. They show that the body is not just enduring the absence of food. It is adjusting, optimizing, and improving how it functions. Understanding this allows fasting to be used as a supportive practice rather than a stressful challenge. By now, you know that fasting is not just about skipping meals. It is about noticing what changes when the body starts working differently. Some signs feel subtle, some feel strange, but each one tells a story about adaptation, balance, and internal change. If you have experienced any of these signs, you are not alone, and your experience matters. Share it in the comments. Let others know what you felt when it happened and how it changed your view of fasting. Your comment might answer a question someone else is silently struggling with right now. If this video helped you understand your body better, take a second to like it. It helps this content reach more people who need clear and honest explanations. Share this video with friends or family who are curious about fasting but feel confused or unsure. And if you want more simple science-based videos that explain what is really happening inside your body, subscribe to the channel and stay with us. More insights are coming, and the next one might answer a question you didn't even know you had.